Welcome to our sunrise session of swimming with the Manatees of Crystal River. We were up bright and early for our 6 a.m. tour with birds underwater, and after getting our gear and watching the mandatory Manatee Manners video, we were in the boat and heading to the springs. It was an absolutely beautiful morning, and while the cold front that had rolled in the night before made for quite a chilly ride, the cooler temperature set us up for an epic morning full of tons of manatees that had come in to escape the colder water in the Gulf. We were the first boat to arrive at Jurassic Spring, and after Captain Will threw up a drone to check for manatees and our guide Adam got in the water to confirm, in we all went. We were almost instantly greeted with 5 or 6, and our guide, who was absolutely amazing by the way, suggested that we hold back just outside the spring and see if they just wanted to hang out with us. Spoiler alert, they sure did. Even after more and more boats arrived and the big groups of people all piled into the spring, our small group of 4 stayed out in the more open water and had a couple dozen manatees all to ourselves for the next hour. It seemed like the longer that we were there, the more manatees came over to investigate and would just wind up hanging out with us for a while. There were a couple of extra curious calves that were super friendly, they just wanted to play, and they were super adorable. As with all wildlife, being as calm, quiet, and undisruptive as possible is key, and this is especially true with manatees. Passive observation is one of the main sticking points before you do any manatee-related activity in Crystal River, and the idea is that if you're just calmly floating along, the manatees will be too. What I wasn't expecting, though, was their level of curiosity and playfulness. While we were all very careful to never swim above them or initiate any contact with them, it's also impossible to stop them from swimming up to your face to boop you and then swim under, around, and into you. It was such a cool experience to have these massive animals be so happy to approach us and just want to interact. The springs maintain a consistent temperature of just about 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes for the perfect escape for manatees who need warm water in the winter, and ultimately why Crystal River is the manatee capital of the world. Because of this, the winter season of mid-November to late March is peak manatee season in the area, and while we were kind of pushing that limit by being there in mid-March, like I mentioned earlier, the cold front that came through the day before, while not ideal for our beach plans, was incredibly lucky for our swim as it drove back a ton of manatees who had already gone out into the Gulf. We actually did an afternoon swim with another company the day before, and we only saw 2 manatees the entire time we were out, so it was crazy to see the difference a few degrees makes. Every time we thought about moving on from our spot, it seemed like more manatees were coming over to where we were from inside the spring, which at this point in the morning had a few tours full of people inside. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, so we spent almost our entire time in the water, not too far from where we originally jumped in. It was just the perfect spot, and the manatees were happy to have us. Eventually, we did make our way into the spring itself, and while all the other people from the other tours did make it feel a bit crowded, the sun had finally fully risen, and the light hitting the water was just perfect. Then one manatee decided to steal the show and pose for my favorite shot of the entire morning, and this moment was pure magic. All in all, we could not have asked for a better experience, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you ever have the chance to swim with some manatees, just do it.